What's good, man? It's your man, Dr. BOA. When you're dealing with women, there's one thing that men tend to overlook, whether they're dating women or in relationships, married or whatever. In this society, men have been told that you must give a woman what she wants in order for you to be happy. In other words, happy wife, happy life. That's why so many relationships are going down the tube. When you deal with a woman, there's one thing you need to remember. Always give consequences and repercussions for her actions, whether good or bad. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, the main thing is this. Whenever we find ourselves in situations where we as men want to build a positive interaction with a woman, we always lean to the type of understanding that causes us to cater to the woman. No man who caters to a woman ever has a positive relationship with her, because catering to a woman simply means that because she's a woman, you do certain things. So that means you treat every woman the same. You cater to every woman you come into contact with. And what I want you men to know is that's just not a healthy way to deal with women. Now, a lot of men will tell you that you got to treat her like a lady. You know, they're telling you like the Temptations. You know what I'm saying? Treat her like a lady. That's what they telling you. But she has to be a lady in order to be treated like a lady. She has to be a queen in order to be treated like a queen. And if she's a scallywag, then she must be treated as such.
Did this conversation involve this?
No.
Do you have a check for me?
No.
Do you have opportunity for me?
No.
Can I profit off this conversation any kind of way?
No.
Then I don't want to talk. Keep it pushing.
You see, when you give a woman so much in the beginning, you have nothing to reward her with. You have to work too hard to figure out new things to do, new exciting things to do. That's how you end up taking a woman on trips and doing all these things that she hasn't earned. And the real problem is the majority of you men don't see the basic things that a woman provides as your just dessert for having her in your life. See, there's something to be said about you putting a woman in a relationship position. You letting a woman be your woman. You giving a woman that title. You giving a woman that recognition. You giving a woman that position. You giving a woman that type of power and control. Because there is a level of power and control that comes with being in a relationship. Let's be honest. We don't have to do anything. But if you tell a woman you're in a relationship with her, there's a certain interaction that you have with her moving forward that you didn't have before you gave her that title. Or before you gave the relationship that description. So with that being said, as a man, it's your job to understand that she's in a relationship with you. It's your relationship. She's just a part of it. And therefore, you have to make sure that her actions and interactions are where they need to be and what they need to be in order for her to contribute value to your life. Because she's not in a relationship with you. That's just a word we use. What she is doing is occupying a part of your life. Everyone in your life should suffer consequences and repercussions for their actions. If their actions are positive, guess what? They get rewarded. If their actions are negative, guess what? They get punished. And punishment can be something as simple as no longer dealing with that person. You have to value yourself enough to understand that withdrawing yourself from someone's life is a punishment for them. You can never allow it to be a punishment for you. So no matter what happens in a relationship, if you and a woman end up not being together anymore, then you have to understand that it's her loss, not yours. She's losing something, not you. And the problem is the majority of men in this society just don't think that, don't accept that, don't believe that, don't want to live by that particular creed. Now, another thing I say to you is this. You must always reward her for her good behavior. The same way you're so adamant about punishing her for her bad behavior, you have to be just as adamant about rewarding her for her good behavior. Good behavior doesn't come from punishing her for bad behavior. Good behavior comes from rewarding her for good behavior. It's like home training a puppy. When you're home training a puppy, hey man, spanking the dog and doing all that, that's not what makes the dog start to perform correctly. Rewarding the dog when it performs correctly, petting the dog, giving the dog attention and affection when it does what it's supposed to do. It's the same thing with all creatures on the planet. All domesticated creatures, whether animal or human, respond to being rewarded when they do the right thing. A child is more likely to respond to being rewarded for making the A honor roll than that child is to respond positively to being punished for making F's and D's. You must understand, brothers, that it is up to you to lay the foundation, to lay the groundwork, and to lay the rule pattern for your life. And anyone who enters into your life has to follow that same rule pattern. Of course, everyone's not subject to the same rules, but the same rule pattern, the same way you carry yourself is the way they must carry their selves if they're going to be in your life, especially when it comes down to your woman. No woman should be doing the opposite of what you do. No woman should be living the opposite of what you live. No woman should be eating the opposite of what you eat. No woman should be watching the opposite of what you watch. No woman should be enjoying the opposite of what you enjoy. No woman should be believing the opposite of what you believe. Because if she is, then you have invited an opposing force, oppositional to your success, oppositional to your fortune, oppositional to your fame, oppositional to your positivity. As men, we must understand that no matter what we feel, it's always about what we think. And if you stay in your head and out of your heart, then you'll understand that rewarding a woman with your time is the greatest thing you can give her. Because no amount of money, no amount of anything can be done without time. Stop undervaluing your time, and then you'll understand when you're wasting time with a woman by giving her chance after chance after chance and just letting it go. Well, maybe she'll figure it out one day. She's a smart girl. She'll figure it. No, bruh. A woman is going to do what you allow her to do. Period. Am I saying that if you don't allow her to do it, she'll stay with you? No. But what I'm saying is she'll only do something to you if you allow it. So as men, we have to make sure that we don't find ourselves in situations where we believe that whatever a woman does is okay. See, what happens is you men are too quick to get into your emotions. When you get into your emotions, you forget to think. And so you feel. And when you feel, you just follow the woman. She's the leader of the feelings. You're the leader of the logic. And so whenever you're functioning on feelings, you're just following her. You're not going to give a woman repercussions and consequences for her actions if you're functioning in emotion. You want to love on her. That's the only emotion that you want to show a woman that you love, a woman that you're involved with. You want to show her love. You want to love on her. And then in the rarest cases, you want to hate her. And your actions show that. But your actions should never show emotion. Whenever a woman does something, unless there's some harm being brought to you or your resources, but whenever a woman does something, you have to think about it. Because that's the only way you can give her the necessary consequence and repercussion for her actions. The thing is, you simply have to understand everything you give her is a reward or a punishment. Some things can serve either purpose. Sex can be a reward or a punishment. It can be a combination of the two simultaneously. Time away is a punishment. Time spent together is a reward. Intimate touch without sex is definitely a reward. Withdrawing that is not punishment. It's just nothing. You only use that for a reward. Everything you do in life is about reward and punishment. Period. It's about reward and punishment. You see how we're cleaning up our content on this platform? Streamlining it. Some things are not being said anymore. Why? Because that's just an adjustment we have to make. If you want to keep climbing and keep growing and keep being favored by the algorithm, and also keep your AdSense, what you're making from ads, up in the teens, you got to go with it. That's every facet of life. If you want to improve, then you play by the rules. The only men who don't improve in life are men who don't play by any rules. Don't listen to anything. Don't have any direction. They just fly by the seat of their pants and do what they want to do. You see them 1 year, they're here. See them 5 years later, they're still here. See them 10 years later, they're still here. Doing the exact same thing they were doing a decade ago. We as men have to understand that we have the value. And when you have the value, you have the power. You just have to act like you know it. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.